What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. Boy, I tell you, the moment has arrived. Japan's own Naoya Inoue versus Japan's own Junto Nakatani. Now, this fight right here is the biggest fight. I think is going to be the biggest fight of the year. These two Japan warriors, samurais, ninjas, whatever you want to call them, they are the best of the best, the cream of the crop out there in Japan. We're going to be taking a look at both fighters. We're going to go in depth with both fighters, and I'm going to show you why these two fighters deserve the recognition as one of the biggest fights of the year. And I think it's probably going to be one of the best knockouts either way. We'll talk about it. So fight fans, don't forget to tune in, lock in, subscribe to the channel, and like always, let's get right into this episode. Oh, Cincy, what up? Salute, salute. Yeah, guys, man. What's up? How you guys doing out there today? By the way, um, all right, I had to get up out of bed today, man. Kind of been moping, ever since the tragedy of my daughter. And uh, day before yesterday, I buried her, and I haven't really want to get out of bed. So thank you for tuning in here around One Sports Talk, and I just gotta clear my mind, and I just gotta talk about something I love to do, and I just wanted to get that out and let you guys know that uh you know I'm coming around. I'm coming around. But if anything's gonna get me out of bed, and there's anything I love more, it's a good squabble. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. That's what I love more. No, there ain't nothing in the world I love more than seeing a great competitive, highly skilled boxing match. That really excites me. And when this fight right here got announced, for months I've been hearing that they were gonna announce this fight, and that there were steps being made to put this fight together. What does this mean? What kind of fight does this mean right here? Well, Japan right now is experiencing what America, the UK, Mexico, and a lot of the big fighting countries before them have experienced, where they get two great warriors, or can have more in multiple divisions, but two close enough where that the town, the country feels like there can only be one. There can only be one. Throughout boxing history, we have seen time and time again. We've seen Ricky Haddons, the AJs fight their ways out of the UK to prove that they're the best out there, that there's no room out there for anyone else but me. And in America, sometimes our American fighters, they have to prove who's the best. Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvis Hagler, right? Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Every now and then you see two of your own island or country's best compete. And the moment has arrived for Japan. And boy, is it a big one. They got some big dogs in this one right here. Junto is a killer. Junto is a Japanese fighter. Right now, currently, I was going to say he was a world champion, but he's not. He's not. He vacated his belts because he's challenging himself to move up to the 122, right? So Junto has a record of 32 fights and 24 big ways by knockout, right? He has an impressive record. He's an undefeated fighter, multiple division world champion. I believe Junto has 3 divisions right now, and he's climbing on his 4th, okay? So when I tell you that this fight is really big, because Naoya Inoue has 4 weight divisions. And one of the biggest prizes in boxing, right, It's not how many belts you can get in one weight division. It's how many weight divisions you can conquer. That's where you show your dominance in boxing. You can have a dominant reign and one weight division. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That is excellent, right? But really pushing the boundaries of your limit, fighting in weight division that you didn't start off and that you matured as a fighter and you grew in boxing and you showed the same level of dominance throughout multiple weight divisions. That's what both of these gentlemen right here have done. Junto and Naoya Inoue. Junto, he's 28 years old, right? He's 5'8". He has a 68%, uh um, he has a 68 reach advantage, right? He has a 75% knockout ratio, Junto. Now, coming off of his last fight, he fought Sebastian Hernandez. Now, Sebastian Fernandez came into that fight, I want to remind the world, an undefeated fighter. He fought him in Riyadh. Now, in that performance against Hernandez, there were a lot of times I felt that Junto was getting touched by Hernandez a bit too much. You know, that kind of like awkward Mexican pressure style, right? And it could be blistering and slow at the same time. You don't know when he's going to be taking some time off or just moving, and then all of a sudden he burst out with a good punch, you know. And Junto had a hard time in that night against Hernandez, you know, and he struggled, to say the least. Junto struggled against Hernandez. Yeah, it didn't really look too good for him because a lot of fighting fans were saying, wow, and you guys think he's going to beat Naoya Inoue, right? But that's okay, because I'm here to tell you, styles make fights, okay? And matchmaking, all right? Not every style, every great fighter can adapt to. Sometimes it takes some fighters a little bit longer to pick up on you, on patterns. Junto struggled against Hernandez, but where he struggled against Hernandez, he might not struggle against Naoya the Monster Inoue. Why? Because Naoya Inoue is a real, pure boxer. And when you start doing the dance the way it's laid out, Junto's fighting style is going to cater better to Naoya Inoue's fighting style. Yes, it is. Junto's longer, right? He's a bit taller. He stands at 5'8". Naoya Inoue is 5'5". Ironically, for Naoya Inoue only being 5'5", he has an arm reach of 67. Junto has an arm reach of 68. And he's 3 inches taller. So Naoya Inoue's arms, he has a long arm reach for a guy a bit shorter at only 5'5". So when I saw that, you know, Junto does bring attributes. When I saw like the size difference between the two fighters, I'm trying to calculate and trying to like size them up. And I'm not really too sure that Junto brings something to the table Naoya Inoue has never seen before. When I start to break down both the fighters, right, I'm also looking at Naoya the Monster Inoue, right? Naoya Inoue. I gotta stop saying this Inoue shit, bro. This reporter dude put that in my head, and it's just been there, bro. His name is Naoya Inoue, right? Okay. Naoya Inoue, very, very, very skilled fighter, bro. Very, very, very skilled fighter. Right now, currently, he is the undisputed world champion at unified undisputed world champion at 122 pounds, right? He has a record of 32 fights with 27 big ways by knockout, right? He's 32 years old. He's 5'5". He has a 67.5-inch reach. He almost has a 68. So he's 67.5. So see what I'm saying? When you start to size these guys up, and then Naoya Inoue, he has an 84% knockout ratio. Now, I'd rather put this on the screen and share it with you guys. Salute, brother. What's up, Sam? I'd rather put this on the screen and share it with you guys. Thank you, man. So that you guys can see these records with me. I like to break things down, but I also like to talk about it and put it up so that you guys can see it with me and see what I'm talking about. And this is how we cover boxing. All right. This is what I wanted to show you guys. That way you guys are up to speed with me and there's no confusion. So, Naoya Inoue, right? He has a record of 32 fights and 27 big ways by knockout. He's a 5-star fighter. He is ranked number one globally. The black, you see the little black planet like that? That's the globe. In Japan, he is also ranked number 1 out of 136 registered fighters in that division. And throughout the division, there are 1,435 registered fighters in the super bantamweight division. He is currently number 1 across the board. He has all 4 belts and the ring belt as well. Now, look at, it's probably better to break down his Wikipedia right now. This is Naoya Inoue right here. And I'm just gonna quickly, I'm not his really impressive. He has an extensive amateur record. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but his professional record is here as such, and then you can read it on the board. Let me see if I can blow this up. In fact, just a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's about that's about the biggest size right there. I'm going to get it without pushing the rest off the screen. Okay, so he has 25 opponents, which he fought in world championship. This is his championship record, professional record, championship record. This is what he did on the top in only championship fights, only world title fights. He has 25 world title fights in a row. From the moment he fought for his first world title, he has not stopped. He has 25 world title fights in a row. He knocked out 21 of them out of 25 world title fights. No secondary belts included here. He don't have no secondary, no minors. These are all 25 major world titles. Okay, I just want to point that out. Okay, all right. Now, right here, where you see right here, it says 8, 7, 8, 2. Those are the divisions. Those are the 4 divisions he fought in. He fought 8 guys for world titles in the super bantamweight division. He fought 7 guys in the bantamweight division. He fought 8 guys in the super featherweight division. And then the featherweight division, he fought 2. You see? You see how he read it? And then on the side, it explained what happened. Out of the 8, he knocked out 6. Out of the 7, he knocked out 6. Out of the 8, he knocked out 7. Out of the 2, he knocked out 2. See? And then on the bottom here, it'll say right here, 16-0-0, 13 knockouts against former or current world champions. So he fought 16 world champions throughout his career, former or current. He knocked out 13 of them. These are all the names right here of all the world champions he's faced. If you want to look up anything or question anything he did, it's all here. See? He has a record of 6. He fought outside of Japan 6 times. He knocked out 5 of them. See in the bottom right here, it says it right there. Right there. His amateur record is bananas, 75-6. We're not going to get into that, but it shows his remarkable accomplishments. These are all his belts, visions. I mean, we'll be here all day. We really will. We really will. But I just wanted to point out some of the major things and some of the best accolades that he has done. You know, look at this. Look at this. First to become disputed in a four belt era at 118. First to become undisputed era at 122. First ever since 1976. What was it? One belt? Two belts? 1976. It was two belts to be on the. You only needed two belts. 76. No, you might have needed three. Would have to check that up. Second belt to become undisputed in a two-weight class in a four belt era. Second man, second to Terrence Crawford. Now that we have taken out his accomplishments, that's Naoya Inoue. That's his accomplishments, what he accomplished as a fighter, right? Okay. Here's Junto. We talked about Junto. He has a record of 32 fights, 24 big ways by knockout, 75% arm reach. He's 5'8". He has a 68.5. So I thought he was a 68. So it's a 68.5. So Naoya Inoue's half and his half. Cut it out. So here we are, right? Right? So he's 28 years old. And Junto, he did struggle against Hernandez. Yes. I'm very, very much aware of this, right? Before we get to his Wikipedia, I wanted to point out a couple things. I should have did this first. I should have just went to his Wikipedia, then did it. No, but you got to also recognize, yes, right here, Hernandez, he came into the fight 20-0. See it right there? But he's coming off 3 consecutive undefeated fighters. Junto. Look, just look up. The last guy, 10-0, 28-0. This guy's record was 76-1. 76-1. Who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? Like I said, no, yo, my man was pretty good. He's pretty good. He's okay. He's not the best fighter. About a padded record. Yeah, you just don't fight anywhere else but your country. That's what happens. You're not gonna get better. You're gonna keep beating the same guys. These are all guys he probably grew up in amateurs and went through the pros in his country. I just want to check this guy out real quick to see. Wait a minute. Who did he lose to? Yo, I knew him. Yo, he lost to Takuma Inoue, Naoya Inoue's kid brother. You don't want to mess with the Inoues, bro. They put losses on your record. Yo, that's crazy. Damn, he lost to Junto too. So the dude ain't a bum, bro. I mean, for the most part. And then he gets crazy, right? He loses to Junto. He fights a guy on his debut. Then he goes back to fighting guys that are 5-1. Yeah, he's a little suspect, but you guys might not be familiar with a lot of these names, but I am. Yeah, he's got a that it's not the greatest record, no, but yo, that was funny. That was funny to find out it was his brother that did him dirty. Yes, let's look at here. Now, Junto is a respectable champion, okay? From Japan, and Big Bang is his nickname. Now, Junto's professional record, right, is not, there's nothing else. The page does not keep going, brothers. This is it. That's it. Professional record against former or current world champion, excluding secondary belts. He's fought 7 current or world or former world champions. He's knocked out 5 of them. These are the 5 he fought against, and these are the 3 weight division he has titles in. He had titles in. He's a 3 division world champion, Japan's world champion, shit like that. They don't really talk about his amateur. I guess I could look it up, but yeah, there it is in a nutshell. Junto has 1 paragraph compared to Naoya Inoue. Jesus. But the paper doesn't tell the story. It really doesn't. It really doesn't for this guy. You see, right now, BoxRec has updated their system, and I also want to point out in Japan right now he's number 2. In the world, he is currently ranked number 2. Naoya Inoue is ranked number 1. He is ranked number 2. This is truly, truly, truly a clash of the giants right here. These are 2 Japan's biggest stars. This is the equivalence of Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford for us. I wouldn't say it would be Terrence Crawford and Saul because you would need both of them to be the same nationality. You understand? So when it comes to mega fights and you think about big fights in your country, like what Filipino star challenged Manny Pacquiao? I'll wait. I'm sitting right here. Just let me know. What other Filipino star had big enough star status to challenge Manny Pacquiao? Did you guys have one of those? No. It doesn't come along every day. What when the Klitschko's was making their reign, they had to wait until the Klitschko's got old. Right? They wasn't simultaneously currently 2 fighters that their star stat and their country, everybody was whispering in every alley in Japan. I think Junto will beat Naoya. No, Naoya will beat Junto. And it's going back and forth. And this got back to the king, Naoya Inoue. It got back to his ear. And he didn't like those whispers. You see, Naoya Inoue, he's what I considered one of the greatest champions of all time. And you know why I consider him one of the greatest champions of all time? Because he doesn't share the spotlight. He doesn't allow you to call yourself champion or say that you're better than me and walk on the same street with me. But yet he calls himself the best. Naoya Inoue says there can only be one. And if you guys think that guy can beat me, échamelo. Put him in the ring. Come on. And that's exactly what Naoya Inoue is doing right now. We are getting this fight not because of Junto, because Naoya Inoue stepped to him in Japan at an award ceremony when this all kicked off. Naoya Inoue is a champion amongst champions. I'm telling you, other champions need to take note. When other guys are out there with 1 belt yelling in a microphone, I'm the best, Naoya Inoue is doing different shit. He's proving he's the best. He went and collected all the belts. If he walked in a division and you had a belt, let's go outside, me and you. There's no confusion in a weight division Naoya Inoue, the monster, is in. When he walks into your weight division, give it a minute. How about 6 months? Just give him 6 months. In 6 months, he'll have all the belts. 122. And the ring. That's how he rolls. Junto, what Junto wants is to be Naoya the Monster Inoue. He wants his star status, the recognition and the status of being Japan's greatest warrior. That's what Junto wants. And that, my friends, is more valuable than this. In a way, it is. In a way, it is. These solidify your championship, but fighting for your country, for your flag, to be recognized as the one true best fighter in your on your island. Get the out of all the people that live in Japan, you're gonna be recognized as Japan's best boxer? Or how about US's best boxer? How about Portugal's? How about Russia's? How about Ukraine's? How about China? How about Mexico? Imagine being Saul when Saul was Saul. How about imagine being Julio Cesar Chavez? Imagine being him and being Mexican, like for your country. Imagine being Manny Pacquiao. Just imagine it. That is a 1% of men and women in their sport, in boxing. 1% of people reach a height like that. Naoya Inoue has reached that height. He is truly like the Beatles or Michael Jackson. You know those kind of people when they walk outside, it's like a mob by waves of fans? Naoya Inoue. Yo, it's just hundreds and hundreds of people just circling the man when he comes out. It's crazy. That Japan vibe that he got when he shows up. Yo, that's rock and roll fucking star fan shit. You know, a lot of boxers don't get that. You know, not like Muhammad Ali and the greats and shit when they went, you know, they were always mobbed. You know, and Junto wants that's worth it. That is worth the risk. When you talk about risk versus reward, what Junto's gonna do and beat Naoya in a way, it's worth it. It's worth putting that that undefeated on the line. Now that's worth it. When they say, hey, you know, let's not do the crime because you can't do the time. And they say, well, that's worth the stretch. If I get bagged, it would have been worth it, right? This is one of those fights. It's truly worth it. It really is. If Junto can pull one of the biggest upsets, and I mean one of the biggest upsets, because although I think that the fight is on paper, I think it's competitive on paper, being 4 division versus a 3 division world champion. So on paper, it looks kind of closer. I think Naoya Inoue is slightly ahead of Junto, but Junto needs to prove this. Now let's break down the fight. Let's talk about when they fight, what do they bring to the table, both fighters? And has one guy brought something to the table that the other guy has never experienced? You see, here's where things get I got to be a bit honest. This is where the honesty in my reporting has to play in, right? And I have to admit, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, Junto brings to the table Naoya Inoue hasn't already seen or dealt with. Unfortunately. I have sat here throughout the days and I have watched video after video after video after video after video. And I'm telling you, of Junto fighting in Naoya Inoue style to remind myself what they both look like, how they both fit into righties, lefties, you know, things like that. You know, Junto being a lefty, southpaw, so and so, and everything. And I had to go and break down and really study the fights. There is no one on Junto Nakatani's resume that even fights close to the level of Naoya Inoue. No, not one. Nah, nah. He doesn't have a fighter on his resume, unfortunately, that's nowhere I mean, not even 70% to the level of Naoya Inoue. I looked and I looked and I looked. No, he hasn't fought anybody. Now Naoya Inoue, he's fought a lot of fighters on the level of Junto. And one of the fighters that he fought, in fact, that I really went back, I'm gonna kill his name. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill this guy's name, man. I know I am. I'm gonna try my best to say it. Hold on. Okay, let me go back and look at his name. And I was trying to remember this guy's name all morning, right? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, guys. You know what I mean? Me and names, but I'm working on it. I am working on it. Okay, where is he? This is Raya 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 Ryagichi Ryogichi Ryogichi Ta Takuchi Tak Takuchi Kachu. Bro, I try. It's this guy. Wait. I want to put him up on the board. Hold on. It's this guy right here. You see him? That guy. Say you can say his name. Him. Right? Listen, if you guys have a chance, go back and watch that fight. It was Naoya Inoue's fight. He fought him at the 108. I think it was like his fourth, fifth fight that he ever had in his career. Now this is Naoya Inoue's fourth or fifth guy. During this time, I looked that guy up at the. I looked him up, and it reminded me who he was. That guy was Japan's best fighter. That guy right there. Right, Raiguchi. What I know I'm messing it up. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. But he was one of Japan's best fighters. They had him in the fight rather than Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue had to prove himself by beating him. Okay? Now, when I went back and I watched that fight, I noticed how tall he was, right? Matter of fact, we could break it down. I should have just left it on the board. We could have broke it down. Now he's 5'6". He looks a lot taller than Naoya Inoue because he looked like he was like his back was like he was making himself fight small. You know when tall guys make themselves fight small, right? He looked a lot taller to me. But he's a 67-inch arm reach, right? And he has a good knockout ratio. Bro, he took a massive punches from Naoya Inoue, right? He's an orthodox boxer. When they fought, it reminds me of or gave me the impression of the picture of how Naoya Inoue would fight Junto. That guy's style, just like Junto's, man. Man, listen, Junto's just a southpaw and he's just an orthodox. That's it. Now, Naoya Inoue has packed up, I think, oh, I'm not sure anymore. I was going to say, I think at one point in time, Naoya Inoue packed up like all the lefties that he fought against. But in recent, he's been fighting lefty after lefty after lefty after lefty, Naoya Inoue. So when you think about, Jujo's a lefty, that's not going to be a problem. Well, Naoya Inoue has been probably preparing, for all I know, for as calculated as he is, he's probably been preparing for Junto, fighting mad lefties back to back. I think at one time they threw 3 left-hand fighters at Naoya Inoue. His last fighter, as a matter of fact, let's study this. Let's study this. Very good thing. Do you see this? You got to look up all this shit. You got to. You got to. Because you got to see how. Okay. So, Alan David Picasso was an orthodox fighter. Marlon Tapal, no, MJ. MJ was he's a southpaw. MJ's a southpaw. So that's one southpaw. Um, Roman Cardenas is an orthodox boxer. So it went one orthodox boxer, it went a southpaw, then an orthodox boxer. His last three fights. All right, okay. Hold on, let me look something up. I forgot. I have no idea what Kim is. That's why I got to look him up. He's an orthodox boxer. Kim Yo Yo Jung Kim is an orthodox. I'm an orthodox boxer, right? T.J. Doheny. What was T.J. Doheny? T.J. Doheny was a southpaw. Yeah, from he was an Irishman. He was a southpaw. Um, I think that's where it started from. It started from T.J. Doheny was a southpaw. Luis Pantera Nari was a southpaw, and Marlon Tapales was a southpaw. And Marlon Tapales is a southpaw. Then he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton after that. So I'm just trying to think about like all the southpaws that he did fight and which one was probably the tallest out of all of them. They weren't. I would say TJ Doheny out of the most recent southpaws that he fought. You know, he fought other southpaws back in his career, Naoya anyway, but I'm just getting familiar with some of the guys that he fought more recently. I think, let me not guess. Let me not guess. Why don't I just look up TJ Doheny? What the fuck, bro? Why did TJ Doheny look so big against Nick Ball? Nick Ball is not, he's got to be like 5'1, bro, 5 feet tall in real life. Nick Ball. He be lying because TJ Doheny looked like a giant, and TJ Doheny's five and a half. He's five and a half. TJ Doheny. That's what they got him on box rec anyway. He's not all that tall. Who is his tallest lefty? Marlon Tapala. How tall is Marlon Tapala? He's 5'4". He's shorter. Jesus Christ. Okay. Uh well, to tell you the truth, it's probably not gonna be one of his tallest southpaws, but to tell you the truth, if I was being honest, right, and I had to break down what Naoya Inoue was preparing for, I almost forgot this. He fought Alan David Picasso last, Naoya Inoue. Alan David Picasso came into that fight. He was 32-17 when he came into that fight. Alan David Picasso is an orthodox boxer, but he's 5'8". He's 5'8". Junto's height. He's the exact same height as Junto. He's an orthodox and Junto's a southpaw. I don't think that really matters to a skilled fighter like Naoya Inoue. He could switch it up. So, if I was thinking fighting styles, the difference between Alan David Picasso and Joe, there's not much difference. Junto's a more decorated champion. He's accomplished more than Alan David Picasso. Alan David Picasso hasn't fought three divisions or got a belt or anything like that. But their fighting styles and the way they survive in the ring, Alan David Picasso is better defensively sound. I'm starting to think about this right now. He's harder to get to than Junto. Junto's gonna be easier to hit than Alan David Picasso. But Junto got a better offense game, better punching game. He's got some slick little punching. What Alan David Picasso couldn't answer Naoya Inoue in offense, Junto can. He can. So his offense is much more dangerous than Alan David Picasso's, but Alan David Picasso's defense and his distance management is better than Junto's. Junto's, he doesn't shy away from the fight. He doesn't really manage distance, so to speak. Whenever you attack him, he just goes up into the high guard, pushes you back, and comes forward. Junto doesn't, he's not like, he measures distance like when he knocked out Maloney brother, the Maloney twin, Andrew. But he used his hand to measure the distance, and then he came over the top and laid him out. But Andrew Maloney was like out on his feet. He was a battered fighter when by time Junto hit him with that shot, he was ready to go. Junto has managed distance in the past, but it's got him in trouble. Hernandez, exactly that part of his game in his last fight, where Alan David Picasso is better at. He is better at. He was better at keeping Naoya Inoue at the right distance, and he blocked Inoue stuff. He gave Naoya some action back. He was fighting Naoya Inoue, but he was smart enough to keep him at bay so that Naoya didn't hit him with a big shot. He was always on alert, Alan David Picasso. And Naoya had to systematically just beat him every round. He knew how to survive. He was well coached in the fact that he didn't play that mid-range with Naoya Inoue. He covered up when he needed to. When Naoya came in on the inside, he was real stingy on what he gave Naoya Inoue. He covered up everything well, real good, and and backed him up, back to managing my distance. Alan David Picasso, he knew how to survive, bro. He, for a young kid that never fought for a world title, never now to be fighting and to do that against Naoya Inoue, I was impressed with that Mexican kid. I was really impressed with Alan David Picasso. He didn't get knocked out. Listen, sometimes moral victories are victories. You got to take something out of the fight. And I'm telling you right now, Naoya Inoue should have packed Alan David Picasso up. He should have. But Alan David Picasso showed that he's hitting that next level in his career. In order to do that, in a way, bro, shouts out to that Mexican fighter, bro. That was not easy to do. You got to stay alert for 36 minutes against Naoya Inoue. His power travels late. He can hit you with a big shot late in the 12th round and knock you out. We all know that. So for the fact that Alan David Picasso stood the course, by the 9th, 10th round, he had to know he was losing the fight. Him and his corner. So now it became a real test of, Will, you're not going to finish me. You're not going to beat me. I mean, like knock me out. Sorry. You're going to beat me, but you're not going to knock me out. So and then when I look at Junto, remember on that night they fought on the same card. Naoya Inoue was the main event with Alan David Picasso, and Junto Nakatani fought against Sebastian Hernandez. Okay, so, and that's where we could test, and that was the last thing and the last image we saw of the both men in the ring. Now we have both fighters agreed to fight each other. Naoya Inoue announced this fight several days ago, But I already knew that I'm going to be talking about this fight a lot. So I said, let me not go and make no videos early so that I have something to talk about now. See, these other YouTube channels shot their load. They knew, they heard the rumors, they knew it was going to happen. They made 100 videos all the way up to now. Now what they got to talk about, right? So this man, they are the monster in a way. I can respect him because a champion recognizes a champion. As you can see, I have the Notre Dame World Championship belt right next to Naoya Inoue's belt with him on the top right there, right? And because champions recognize champions, and I am the current and defending Notre Dame's world champion. I just want to let you guys know that I am unified, undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Frontline, he gave me an idea. He said to me, he said, Edwin, I said, what Frontline? He said, we should franchise you. Franchise? He said, yeah, because the franchise rules means you can't lose the belt. You can't, there's some cheating rules. Yeah, baby. But I was thinking about retiring, calling it quit, walking away, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? No. Champion, I'm going to put my title on the line. If you don't know what I'm talking about here at Round One Sports Talk, or if you're just tuning in, we come here at Round One Sports Talk where we watch live fight parties and I call the fights and we all cast our votes on who's going to win the main event. Whoever wins the main event and can pick the right round and the right fighter, you will be honored here at Round One Sports Talk as a world champion, a Notre Dame's world champion. And that is the world championship belt. No, we don't send you the belt. It stays here, but we put it up for you. We put your name up. We give you recognition as the world champion. And we come back every week, every fight, and we do it all over again. Currently, right now, I'm on a roll. I don't want to toot my own horn, but man, I'm calling these fights, but hey, listen, I'm just taking shots at one person and he knows it. Bang Bang Boogie, my man. I be competing with him all the time, right? So these are all shots fired at him. But anyway, there's the belt right there. He just, it's tough being champion. But anyway, back to boxing. Listen, so I think that Naoya Inoue has been preparing for quite some time for this fight. I think that Naoya Inoue, I think for the most part, when I break down their fighting style, right? Junto got a good jab, right? Unfortunately, for as fast as people are trying to report that he actually is, he's really not that fast. I've seen faster fighters at 122 and at 118 that Naoya Inoue has fought. Junto's not really that fast. When I saw him against Hernandez exposed that too. Hernandez was beating him to the punch on several occasions. But Junto, when Hernandez got his eye and Junto's eye started to swell, I noticed that Junto started to settle into the fight and he started boxing. Hernandez's pressure, the fact that he hit him like that, Naoya Inoue being really fast. But like I said, I still don't think none of those guys got Junto's power. Junto can clip Naoya Inoue on the side of the head or something like right here, and he can clip him and he can put him down. Now, I know for a fact Naoya Inoue has a beard because the two times I see him get knocked down with them shots, I'm trying to tell you, anybody else gets knocked out by that Luis Pantera Nari hook. Like, anybody else gets knocked out. Naoya Inoue's got a iron chin, man. He really does. You can have an iron chin and take a stun knockdown in any fight. Somebody can hit you, boom, drop you, boom, a stun knockdown. But when Naoya Inoue got up, was his legs wobbly? Was he doing the Bambi? Was he struggling? Or did he get dropped, get up, and kick ass? Stun knockdowns. It didn't look like Naoya Inoue was hurt in none of the knockdowns. Either he was hurt and he played it off really, really fucking well, but as soon as he got knocked down, he got up. That other guy didn't win 10 more seconds in the fight. Neither of the guys that put him down. They literally didn't win 10 more seconds in the entire fight for whatever the fight lasted. Not 10 more seconds. Stun knockdown. Naoya Inoue didn't get knocked down. It was hurt. The different kind of knockdown. Anybody could get stun knocked down. He did. So it's tough. It's tough to break down this fight because this fight is the type of fight for me that can two ways. Real easy for Naoya Inoue, or it could be competitive. He can last 12 rounds, Junto. But to be honest with you, I think Naoya Inoue is gonna beat Junto fairly well. To be honest, my competitive side tells me don't write Junto away. He's number 2 for a reason, Edwin. And I have to recognize Junto for the fighter that he is. You know, although I think that Naoya Inoue is really, really like the best we have. I recognize Junto's attributes. I recognize he's a lefty. He's 5'8". The arm reach, it's not that's not going to be a problem. Junto's mobility, his feet, his footwork. Junto's footwork is good. He has a wide base sometimes. He has like this wide base. He's like, you know, he's because he's so tall and he has a big thing. The problem with that is Junto Naoya Inoue's first step is vicious. It's vicious. What's up, Frontline? How you doing, my boy?
What is happening? I can't let you lie to these people, man. I can't let you lie to these people.
Go. Let's
I,
go.
I can't. I refuse to let you lie to these
Where
people.
are the lies? Come, educate.
You're saying that Inoue had a flash knockdown.
Flash.
Did you not forget his circuit
Flash.
board done crashed against Caldena?
Yo, that shit glitched out. But that's a flash
No, that
knockdown,
shit
bro.
didn't glitch. That shit crashed.
Yo, nah, crashing would have been knocked out. Come on, you're exaggerating. Now,
No,
glitch when Cardenas hit him, he went like that's a stun knockdown.
it short circuited.
Yeah, it's a stun
Yeah,
knockdown. It's
and it
by
was like that for the
definition.
remainder of the round. When he got back to
No,
the corner, is when his dad repaired the circuit board and made him come back out.
uh,
So I can't let
listen.
you lie to these people. And by the way,
Come on. No, no.
before we continue, congratulations, champ, for being the reigning and defending champion of the Notre Dame
Notre
belt.
Dame is
Yes,
world
sir.
champion. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Listen, now that you're here, can you do me a favor, catch up to the chat and read some of the messages that I'm reading? yeah,
So Gallo, damn, when he first entered, I don't know if you read it or not because I came in like 20 minutes late.
yeah.
But
Who
who
you
you got,
got
Rock?
round one? Well, go ahead.
Vaquero versus Sugar Nunez, Mexican War. Taking my family to the fight. My youngest baby
Ooh,
is 3. I'm taking her to the fight.
nice. You know what I mean? Bring them up right, baby. Bring them up right. Bring them to a boxing match. I like you as a dad already. Um, Papi, right now, I have shared this with you guys more than once. Every time I bet against the Vaquero, he wins. Okay? right? Nunez, uh, a lot of people feel that he should win this fight, and that the Vaqueros reign is gonna be over right now with that WBO title, and this is a unification. It's gonna be the WBO and the I right? Am I right? So I think that
Are you taking shots with that question?
No, 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 no. I'm not. Um, what I'm doing is Jesus Christ, man. Every time I'm gonna take Sugar Nunez, man.
Te
I'm
jodiste. I got
I'm a.
Vaquero.
You
I
got
got
the
Vaquero
bucket.
winning.
You got
Yeah,
Vaquero winning.
yo, you know what's funny though? I actually got Vaquero
What?
stopping Nunez.
Really?
I got him
Okay.
stopping him.
All right, all right. But my pick is subject to change until the day of the fight until I put my title on the line because that's a main event, right? Right? That's
Yeah.
a main. Okay, so we'll be watching that one, and I will be victorious once again. I
Um,
Go ahead, read
Eduardo
them.
says, when they fighting? Question mark. Gallo replied, said May 2nd at the
May
Tokyo
2nd.
Dome. May 2nd going to be a movie. We got Inoue in the Japan card. Then at night we got the Mexican Monster in Vegas.
Ooh.
Round one. Okay, he already answered that. Salute. Gallo Vaquero got this one. I told him. Richard, saludo, Bobby. He's in the building. Gallo fresh frontline. I didn't even read this shit. It says I don't know. Sugar don't stop with that pressure and had experience with that Chino. He took the belt off
Mm.
to Japan, and I got Sugar on points. I can see Sugar winning on points, but I see Vaquero knocking him out. Vaquero's relentless, bro. I'm taking my 3-year-old baby girl to the fight on Saturday. She's going to the youngest in the sport. She's gonna be the youngest in the sport. Right. That's what's up. Peace to God's in the building. Salute. Black is in the building. Salute. Melasa 1212 is in the building. Diego says, "Damn, Conor Ben versus Regis worth 15 million?" Question. Hell no, that fight ain't worth no goddamn
Yo,
15 million.
yesterday? Remember yesterday when you were telling me? You said, Edwin, you called me yesterday and you was like, Edwin, how you doing? Everything. We started talking boxing, and you said to me, Conor Ben got 15 million for that Sufa, and I said, yeah. You said to me, Edwin, you know any other boxers that went or is trying to sign? And I said, yo, I just heard that Regis Progress signed. Didn't I say that to you?
Yeah, yeah,
And then all of a sudden now they fighting together.
that's crazy.
That's
That is crazy.
crazy.
Nick Ball Shorty LOL says QS. Loy says, "Damn man, is it me or the quality going to shit?" On YouTube, it does look like shit. So I replied, I said, "Hello." I said, "Loy, it's the streaming program. You know Ed when he starts playing with settings and fucks shit up."
Yeah. What happened with the quality? It looks great for me.
On YouTube, it looks like super low quality. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It looks blurry and shit. And it took a minute to get in too to the stream. I mean, to on YouTube side. It just kept loading and loading and
Wow.
loading. I
It
don't
must.
think it has anything to do with you. I think it's got to do with
Yeah.
YouTube.
I think it has to do with YouTube. Yeah, their platform or whatever.
So you said,
Cause I'm streaming in 1080p. I paid for 1080p.
yeah. Well, you said you were thinking about retirement. You vacating or you getting? We gonna have to
No,
strip you.
no. I'm not retiring. I'm not retiring as a champion. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep my reign going as Notre Dame's world champion. You know
And
what
then
I'm saying?
when you said that shit about Boogie, I said Boogie got no say. He just got demoted.
He got demoted. You
Yeah,
know
he's done.
what I mean?
Gallo says both Japan boys look bad on that card. One almost got an eye, lost an eye, and the other one didn't get the KO. Both struggle with their Mexican op.
Hmm.
Caldenas is a dog. He had the most exciting fight with Inoue, says Gallo.
I was
Uh,
there live in Las Vegas. I was there. I know.
Inoue going to crash. Nati Hernandez was touching him up. Inoue KO in 6 rounds. I don't know. Inoue wasn't stumbling out anything after, says QS. Gallo says 100 more on sugar. Now that you said that round one, LOL. I don't know. I don't know that. Haha. And Carlos is in the building.
Yo,
So
listen. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
so Gallo got $100 more on sugar. Now that you said that you're going for Sugar Nunes to win.
Mm. Yo, it's just that I think that Navarrette's last couple fights with that
Yeah.
that elbow headbutt thing, whatever, and it was really a punch, and him getting dropped by that um out there in the UK. Um, I think Navarrete's time, his reign is coming to an end. He couldn't get up there at 135. He lost against Dennis Berenchez. Dennis Berenchez got starched by Keyshawn Davis, and Keyshawn Davis made him look like he wasn't even a world champion. And Navarrete fucking struggled. It was a bad fight, bro. He looked so bad in that fight.
Where was that at 30? You said, right?
Yeah, no, that was at 35. He went up. He was at 30, and he went up to 35 to challenge Dennis Berenchez for his 135-pound championship,
Mm.
which Keyshawn Davis beat him. You see? So this is what I talk about Navarrete every time I want to bet against him because of his fighting style. Then he comes out and beats Oscar Valdez not once but twice, and he shows he can fight, and he's a big boy. Navarrete got a big punch. He just be bludgeoning these dudes like boom, boom, and moving them. He's so big for the division. He showed you could go up to 135. But Sugar Nunez, look, same thing I could say about him. Sometimes I saw him in some fights, you know, not do so well. And then in other fights, I seen him do really good. And I like the way his style is, but I think that Sugar's going to catch up to Navarrete. I think he's going to catch up to Navarrete. Navarrete's fighting style is not that hard to figure out. You got to just know that he's going to fight off instinct. He's going to punch. When you punch sometimes, he's a spontaneous fighter. You can set him up. And in order to fight a spontaneous fighter, you got to take his will away. You got to stop him every time he goes to hit, like he goes to want to throw a punch.
Well,
That's when you in between.
now that you
Yeah.
say that, it
Make
makes
him
sense.
freeze up.
Now that you say that, it makes sense. It makes sense because Wilson damn near won that fight, and they let Navarrete
They give
recover.
him extra time, is what you're
Yeah,
trying to say.
and then
Yeah.
Suarez gave him that uppercut, which I felt he should have won. It should have never been a no contest. I feel that shit should have been overturned. But now that you put it that way, it makes sense because Nunez, bro, he be throwing punches out of left fucking field, and they be landing,
Uh,
and they be landing. So, damn, now you got me thinking.
yeah.
You got me
Listen.
thinking.
Yo,
Nah,
listen.
fuck that. I'm sticking with Navarrete.
Towers, how you doing, brother? What's up, Towers?
Yeah, he said, "What's up, round one? Sending you
Yep.
blessings."
Send him. Thank you.
And then peace to
Yep.
God. Said, aquí cocinando, tengo hambre.
Yo,
And
peace
then
to
he said,
God.
no,
Are
I
you
said 100
cooking?
more because, oh, wait, he said,
Listen.
Gallo says, no, I said 100 more because round one said he picks wrong because round one picked Vaquero first. Nah, he never picked Vaquero. It was me that picked Vaquero.
He did. He did.
And I'm the
Yeah.
one that be always fucking shit up.
Yeah. No, no, no. What he meant was every single time I pick against Paquero, I lose, is what he means. When I said the quote,
Oh,
every time I fucking pick against the guy, he fucking wins. You know what I'm saying? So, because I thought that Paquero wasn't going to be that great of a champion. I kind of had him in the category when I first was introduced to Paquero. I kind of had him in the category of like a Rolly, a Rondo Rolly, where I felt like I said to myself, you're lucky to be in the situation you're in with those kind of fighting skills. I felt that way until I got more familiar with him, Navarrete, and I found out that he's a master at his own style. He's not just out there doing stupid shit, looking silly. He literally fights like that. He's that's he's not fighting like that because he's slow in skill or he's behind the curb. He's fighting like that because he fights like that. Do you understand? And when I finally got to see Vaquero for the fighter he was, I says, "Oh, this motherfucker's a monster." He's not fighting awkward because you know he's trying to get to the next level and get out of that awkward stage. No, that's him. That is him. And he was a lot better than I thought. Until I got to see Baquero for the fighter he was, then I was like, oh shit. And then that's when I had him against Oscar Valdez in that fight. And he made me a believer then. And I was like, nah, he's gonna beat Oscar, I thought. And he did. But that was one of the only times I ever had him in that fight with fucking Oscar because he had to prove and I had to see him. But when I first ran into a fighter like Baquero, like I said, year by year I get better at reporting and figuring things out. As I grow in boxing, as my IQ and my eye for watching the sport also grows. There was a point in time that I didn't know how to back up. If I was levels ahead of someone, I in my head I expected you to think like me, to already be here. I had to learn and fall back into boxing, reassess my evaluation of fighters, and realize that all fighters are not the same. And like some people are like harsh on Ryan Garcia. They're like, oh, he didn't really do nothing in that fight against Mario Barrio. He looked like shit. And I said, but who are you comparing him to? Who are you comparing him in your head to? And he's like, well, he should have been. No, you want to make him something he's not. That he's Ryan Garcia is not fucking Terrence Crawford. He's not on that level. But for the level that Ryan is, I saw his level. And he did great. He he performed above expectation. Does he have the best fighting style in the world? No. Is he a slick fighter? No. But that's why people put Ryan down. Because their standards are so high, they no longer know how to view the other fighters. And that's how you can fall out of love with boxing. I was spoiled. I came up with Floyd Mayweather, Hector Camacho's, all those guys. And when the next wave came along, they weren't looking like Floyd. I was like, fuck boxing. I'm done with boxing. Because if you didn't look like my guy, you didn't do this, I'm just expressing this so that you also don't make that mistake like I did once upon a time. And if you're a gambler, don't bet with your heart. Never bet with your country like Frontline does. I try to teach them this all the time. Just because your flag is, Puerto Rico, mine's Puerto Rico, that doesn't mean I'm gonna pick the Puerto Rican dude. Frontline all day.
It's a good thing I don't gamble.
Listen, all he had to do is put a flag, and he's like attracted to it. Like he thinks that loyalty to his country will bring him rewards, money. It would bring him wealth. No, it doesn't.
Get the fuck out
Las
of here.
Vegas don't work like that. Las Vegas don't care what you are. It's odds, man, in situations. So I tell him this a lot. I say, yo, Frontline, like you gotta like learn how to like look at styles and fights and levels and know how to judge a guy, because that's what a huge 80%, I believe, of boxing fans do that all the time. No, he's not better than him. He's not. You're training yourself, and the level in your bar is this guy. If nobody meets that, you'll never see no one else. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me. That's the way it works. And then you got to back up and you got to start to learn how to look at it like that. So I try my best to, when I cover boxing, that I do take my due diligence and I study both fighters. I studied Naoya Inoue and Junto for a long time.
On the same token, I don't let them know that you live curiously through me, though.
Yes, of course. That's why I got him on the show. He's right up my alley. Right, all right. Pause. Right. I tell Frontline. I say to Frontline, I like when you talk and you're like, oh, Puerto Rican, this and this and this. I says, I like it because I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it. So I live vicariously through him. You know what I'm saying? Because I like when Frontline loves to show his pride. Yo, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with having pride for your country, whatever nationality you are. Rep your country and your flag. Be proud. And most importantly, learn your language. Don't let them steal your tongue. You understand me? Never, and I repeat, never. It is no shame to be prideful. Now, though I would like to be prideful and I would like to just have a boxing channel and I cover just my Puerto Rican guys, unfortunately, I chose another way. I chose to study boxing, analyze it, break it down. And what I actually do every day here at Round One Sports Talk is bring up situations and the fighters, and I let you, the viewers, have at it. You decide who you want. I'm not a used car salesman up here. I'm not trying to convince you or persuade you. I tell you what I feel, what I think about these guys, and I break down the two opponents or whoever they are. But you might think, and you might, when I talk with a passion sometimes. A lot of people tell me that. I don't recognize it myself, but I've been told this more than once. And a lot of people will come in and say, Edwin, you're a real big fan of Naoya Inoue. And they would be wrong. They would be wrong. I'm no more of a fan than Naoya Inoue than I am from Sugar Nunez or Navarrete or Stephen Kubo Fulton or Bruce Carrington. I like them equal. Now, I like his fighting style. Yes, I perceive him to be a great fighter, but I learned a long time ago not to put all my heart and soul behind one fighter because if they fall, that's going to hurt you. It's going to bother you to watch your fighter fall. And if I had a favorite fighter, I couldn't see the other guys. There's no way I would be able to see no one above Naoya Inoue. I'm not going to be able to see it. So that's why I step back and I choose to report boxing. I love all boxers. I cover boxing. I'm not here to put down boxing like a lot of the other channels. Fuck boxing. Boxing is this. Boxing's that. Fuck the belts. This and that. But why do you have a boxing podcast? You should just call it the Boxing Hate. And you should, because everything that these guys want to come out and talk about, it's always putting down boxing. Look at the next black eye boxing has. Look at this guy. He ain't doing this. At least I'm talking about actual boxing situations, and I allow all my viewers to have an opinion. And anybody can come up and voice with respect to your guy. I'm not here to argue with you about, no, your guy sucks. My guy, no, we could do that if you want. We could debate. But if you want to come and support your guy, get up here and say, you know what? I like this guy because of this, and this. And I think he's going to beat this other guy. Healthy boxing shit talk. We are in boxing, right, gentlemen? We can say a few words to each other without getting fucking our feelings hurt, right? A couple F bombs might drop, right? But that's about it.
And a couple you down bad too.
A couple of that, but that's about it, you know? But that's what I choose to do, and that's my style of reporting boxing. If you're getting familiar with me here at Round One Sports Talk, know that you're gonna come up here. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk boxing, and we're gonna talk it out. We're gonna say what we feel like on our mind. You know what I'm saying? But we don't need all the disrespect. Everybody talking over each other, not letting the one get your point across. You got something to say? I'll drop the link, and we can talk. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. Read the rest of those comments.
We got Miyagi in the building, says I'm here. Salute Round One family.
What's up? What's up, Mr. Miyagi?
And then we got Bobos. Dímelo, dímelo.
Dímelo. Hey, yo, Bobos, man, listen.
Down bad.
Oh, Bobos is always down bad. You know what I'm saying? Yo, But he's gonna get a victory in the Navarrete fight no matter what. Mexico has to win that fight, right?
Not really, because the way they operate, they may give us Sugar Nunez or they may give us Navarrete because they're gonna say that he's
Oh,
not
so what? So
Mexican.
so one of them's gotta go. It's gonna turn Puerto Rican.
Yeah, you already know how that goes. You know how they roll.
Yeah, no, no, no. They're not gonna gamble on that one. They're just gonna, Bobos is gonna go. I got the Mexican guy in the fight, and he's not gonna put a name.
Well, here's the thing: they're gonna be down one anyways, no matter how
Why?
you look at it.
Why?
Because if Nunez wins, they're gonna lose the WBO.
No, but then they're gonna get a unified.
Right? They'll get a unified, but they'll lose one champ on one end.
That's okay. I'll trade that for a unified all day. What's up,
Super
Mr.
chat, Mr.
Miyagi? Super
Miyagi.
chat.
Salute Edwin. Inoue versus Nakatani is going to look a bit like B Hop versus Tarver, with Inoue being B Hop.
You know, B Hop lost that fight.
So he's telling you that Inoue is going to lose this fight.
Hmm.
you you want to refund him?
Refund that $10. No. Hey yo, Mr. Miyagi. I hear you. With Junto looking so powerful, and we're like, like that knockout, right? As a matter of fact, one of one of the crazy things is that Junto Nakatani was honored for knockout of the year for knocking out Andrew Maloney. Well, in fact, the previous year, Naoya Inoue had knockout of the year with Jason Maloney, the identical twin brother of the guy that Junto knocked out to get knockout of the year. He was from Australia, and Junto's from Japan. Naoya Inoue is from Japan, and he knocked out the other twin brother. Have you guys seen both those knockouts? Have you guys ever seen them? I want to put them up because that was a debate that I never really had. And I want and now this is a perfect time. Who had the better knockout on the Maloney brothers? Was it Junto or was it Naoya Inoue? And I want you guys to put your votes on this. This I want to know. I never brought this up. I want to know today. I'm gonna hold up. Give me a second. Frontline, can you read any of the chats or take care of the show? Don't let no dead space.
Not just Bobo says Mexico 19 champions. How we down bad? And then Gallo says Sugar is from Monchis, Sinaloa, Mexico, and Vaqueros from City of Mexico. We got a war. And then he says R.I.P. Mencho, CJNG. Mencho's
The guy that got killed, the Mexican
the
leader.
shit that's going on right now. Yeah, the shit that's going on right now. I don't even want to talk about that shit.
Yeah,
We don't
no.
talk
Don't.
politics and none of
I
that
was
shit.
just gonna say, is he talking about like, man, get that shit? Like, nah, we don't.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Miyagi says, nah, B Hop won by UD.
Oh, the second one. No, he didn't. Behat never beat Tarver. Oh, Tarver, Magic Man Tarver. Oh, not Taylor. Okay, so Taylor beat B-Hob twice. He's the first one to take his belts. Tarver is a different fighter. Is that what he's talking about? Maybe I got it confused.
Yeah, I don't remember that far back. Fun Truck says Mexico boxing is up. Flame emoji, Mexican flag
Shit.
emoji.
Check this out. He said 19 world titles and made me think of something. Robert Garcia by himself has 17 world titles. Robert Garcia's gym, they have brought him 17 world titles. I think it's 17 or 16. I think Hitchens would have been 17. His gym by himself got 17 world titles.
Well, that would have brought him because Duarte was gonna put
Duarte, I think he was gonna
pause.
beat the shit out that man.
He was gonna beat the shit out of fucking
What was I doing? Oh, Maloney, the
Hitchens.
knockouts. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking. I got to look this up. I want to see this. I'm going to put this up. We're going to look at both knockouts. Let me stay focused. Stay focused, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Bobo said that he also confused Tarver Williams with Taylor. Um, but yeah, Duarte, bro, that you know what's funny? I think that was gonna be like the best fight of the night. I think that fight was gonna be fireworks. And yep, Hitchens escaped it, a good old Mexican ass whooping.
No, I think yo, that messed me up. Now, we can talk about that. Check this out.
Now we're gonna save that for tonight. I gotta get going. I just dropped on to call your cap about Inoue not losing the circuit board. Um, I just I just hopped on for that, but I got to get back to work. I got to do a couple things,
All
but
right, brother.
and plus I don't get paid for double shifts.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, well then they should pay you at that other job because here at Round One Sports Talk, you make bank. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, shout out to Stanley in the building. He says, "Love you, Pop."
Yeah, I love you, son. Absolutely. Listen, okay. All right, Frontline.
I'll catch you. I'll catch you
Yes,
this afternoon.
absolutely. I will catch up to you this afternoon. Oh, let me change the
And
thing.
that
But
and
all right, brother.
all you fuckers in the chat, show up at 6:30 so we can talk more shit. I mean 7:30. Sorry,
7:30, 7:30.
seven
Yep.
thirty, so we can talk more shit. I'll see y'all later though.
Mm-hmm.
Dale.
All right, peace, brother. Be
Gallo says
easy.
Hitchens a bitch for that. Brothers
Yeah,
down bad.
yeah. He had to read that last
Duarte,
one out there, huh?
Duarte getting screwed big time with the IBF mandatory now. All right, I'll let you take over. I'm
All
out.
right,
I'll see
brother.
y'all later.
All right.
Later, Stanley.
Latest. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put it down here. And this is Naoya Inoue, the monster, with Jason Maloney.
Did you see how it told you he's a rhythm fighter? He likes to fight in
It well. There it is. Once again, the up. Oh, beautiful double.
Nice. You seen that over? Look, bang. Oh, nice body shot. Ooh, good body shot. He slipped that jab. Nice. Damn. Maloney was boxing Naoya in a way, bro. He was one. Ooh, you see that punch right there? You see how he rolled his shoulder? That's the shot he's gonna end them with. Man, the way he moves around effortlessly. Here we go. No, that's not it yet. Right here, right here. Nope. Oh, they don't got the knockdown on this. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't see the video. I just assumed that. Okay, let's see this one. This one. I picked one of them. It says it in the headline. Watch this. Look at this shit. Oh, did you see that? Did you see how he put that man down? No, 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 no. Wait a minute. 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 Look how he set this up. Look at this. Ooh, that was nasty, bro. Nasty. Yo, that's hitting a home run in the make. That's like a walk-off, bro. That's some shit I do in my sleep. I be wishing I knock dudes like that out and step off. Look, watch. Oh, damn, that was nasty. Woo! Oh man, look. Now I want to show you guys. Wow, let me look at that one more time. Just one more time. Just one more time. Guys, I watch boxing because I study boxing and I always ask myself, how did he do that? Listen. Oh, that was nasty, bro. Oh man. And then we could switch it up right here. Yeah, just use your brain. If you put Junto right here and just put maybe like this. Okay, let's look at Junto's one. Okay. Oh, oh, fat. Oh, bro, yo, the life went out of that man. Look at this. Oh, bro, you know he was out. He fell on his butt. His legs bent backwards. Bro. Look at this. Look at that. Which one got knocked out worse? That's Andrew Maloney, the twin. Damn. Boom. Jesus Christ. Yo, he walked right into that. He was blinding himself by his own gloves. And before he came out the peekaboo, look, boom. Damn. Damn. Hold up. Boom. Oh, he bent his knee too. Yo, he bent his knee back too. I don't know. I think Inoue's one was slicker though. We seen that one. I want to see a better angle of it. That was tight, bro. That shit was tight. He was throwing a punch in between the shot. He was throwing a punch, and Naoya Inoue slipped his punch. See, he was throwing a punch. Look, and the punch missed him. See, the other Maloney, when Junto hit him, he was coming out the high guard. He was punching in between the punches and slipped his punch. Naoya Inoue's was slicker. Oh, man, bro. His was brutal, yeah. Junto's was, but Naoya Inoue's was brutal too. I don't know, man. I think Naoya Inoue ones. Which one? Andrew got the worst. He was in the 11th. Yeah, but you see, what round did Naoya Inoue knock out Maloney? Anybody remember? Was it the 7th, 8th? What was it again? I forget. That one was a long time ago. Yo, that knockout would have been all over the world if they fought in a crowd. They fought in the bubble like the corona epidemic. Remember? There was no crowd when he knocked out Jason Maloney. And he came out to America to fight, in fact, Naoya Inoue. But he did it to get exposure, but there was no crowd to. And I'm telling you, if there was a crowd like there was in the Junto fight, if you go back and watch Junto versus Andrew, right? Maloney, right? When Junto hits him, when he sizes him up like that and he hits him, I want you to take a lady to the black lady that's sitting in the front row. She has like this leopard shirt. I'll never forget her, right? She looks like she was a judge or something. She might have been a judge or an official. And she's sitting there like that, like this, right? And when Junto hits him, that lady's reaction, she goes, like she was like fucked up, bro, when Junto hit him. So I like to look at that, people's reactions in the crowd and to watch the crowd jump up and cheer. If Naoya Inoue had a crowd when he knocked out the other Maloney brother, they would have made that knockout reel a lot better. Because although you see the skill take place, you didn't get the environment that Junto has in his video. In Junto's video, people are jumping out. It gives you that much more interaction and you connect with the knockout better. And Naoya Inoue's one, it was a fucking empty room where you could hear the two guys talking in both corners. If Maloney's corner uttered out instructions, Naoya Inoue's corner heard it. There was no crowd. So I think that took away from the knockdown, but make no mistake, Naoya Inoue's knockout was betterly skilled pulled off. Junto was a display of power. You know, he knocked the lights out of him. You ever hear the expression, I'll knock the lights out of you? That's what he did. But Andrew Maloney, if you never watched that fight, let me tell you, he was a beaten fighter. The last 2 rounds leading into that knockout, his corner was threatening on stopping the fight. I remember. Andrew's corner was telling him, we're going to stop this fight. And you're getting hit way too much by Junto. They should have stopped the fight the previous round. He was going out there on sheer will, courage, and stupidity. Sometimes your corner or the referee has to recognize, brother, live to fight another day. You're too tough for yourself. You're just going to take you're not going to win this fight. Had they did the right thing, Andrew Maloney's corner, and threw in the towel, Junto never knocks that guy out. He just had a fighter that was battered, bewildered, and he was in the high guard going forward, and Junto just set him up. You ever hear the expression, he just needs a little bit of help to go? This guy is ready to go. That's how Junto had him. So I just want you to know that. When Naoya Inoue knocked out Jason Maloney, Jason, he was getting his ass whooped. He had got dropped in the 5th round. He was boxing Naoya Inoue, but Naoya Inoue slowed him down just that much in the fight. In the beginning of the fight, I have to admit, Jason Maloney is one of the fewest boxers I ever seen another guy try to box Naoya Inoue. He really went in there and tried to box him. He had some success in some moments. Maloney's a very good boxer. I just want you to know this. He's so good, in fact, that after Naoya Inoue beat him, he went on to become a world champion. You guys know that, right? So that's how good Naoya Inoue's competition is. That the guys he's fighting, either he takes your belt or you were good enough to be world champion, just not when he was in the division. When he left, then you became world champion. You know what I'm saying? So when he did knock out Jason, he was beating him up in the fight. I remember he was beating him up. Boom, 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 boom. He was in Jason with some big shots. And that shot that I told you, hey, remember that shot? That shot is the shot he knocked him out with. And Naoya Inoue was sizing him up with that shot. Then there's other things I taken in account. The reason why Jason Maloney stood around as long as he did, he better thank Naoya Inoue for that, right? And a lot of fighters need to thank Naoya Inoue for looking out for the safety of their lives. And I mean that. Naoya Inoue is thinking about his opponent, what they're going to do after boxing. He doesn't want to hurt them. And the reason why I say that is and the reason why Jason Maloney was around and a lot of these fighters, because Naoya Inoue wears winning boxing gloves. A highly padded glove that protects the other fighter that I'm punching in the face. And Naoya Inoue's hands. Because if Naoya Inoue was boxing with, let's say, Reyes horsehair gloves, none of these guys make it to the 3rd round. But Naoya Inoue's career is probably cut short. His hands probably get more damaged with every fight. We'll probably see him fighting less a year because he would have to wait for every fight to heal his hands. There would be no way he would fight 4 times a year. But Naoya Inoue, by wearing winning boxing gloves and making it harder for himself to knock out the guy, and the other guy's not feeling Naoya Inoue's power, that is not feeling it, but it's vibrating through your body. Roman Cardenas says, Naoya Inoue didn't have no power. I didn't feel his power. It was just the volume, but his head's this big, all black and blue. No, brother, You just don't notice the power. You were feeling the soft padded of the glove first, then that small snap, that pop, pop, and that's what you were feeling. If Naoya Inoue took that glove off and put the glove you had on, he'd knock you the fuck out. But he'd probably break his hand. Prime example of what I'm talking about actually took place in Naoya Inoue's career more than once. But the greatest example is Nonito Donitis. He fought Naoya Inoue with winning boxing gloves, and Nonito cut his eye and almost beat, Naoya in the second round. Naoya Inoue, didn't go for that because with a fractured orbital bone, Naoya Inoue could have quit in the second round. That's injuries. I've seen men concede, like, no mas, I can't do it. You fractured my orbital bone. I saw Dubois quit. I saw Kell Brook quit against Errol Spence Jr. for a fractured orbital bone. Now, this dude gets a fractured orbital in the second round. In the second round, he fights 10 more rounds with a fractured orbital bone, right? But they had the winning boxing gloves on. So Nonito Donaiti, he complained about that. He said, yo, I don't want to wear them winning boxing gloves. I want horsehair gloves. And Naoya Inoue basically knocked him out in the first round. If there was 5 more seconds in that first round, Nonito doesn't make it out the round. Nonito saw firsthand how hard Naoya Inoue punches. And Nonito Donaiti took a gamble in that fight with those gloves. It was a respectable gamble, warrior to warrior. Like, yo, I respected what Nonito did in that moment. I understood it later. I didn't understand it in the moment. I heard Nonito talk about it. It made sense to me. Because Nonito knew that Inoue was a bit faster than him. Nonito is a Hall of Famer, respectable fighter, if not one of the best down there in bantamweight in his time, in his era, right? And he knew that he caught Naoya Inoue with that check hook. That if he had those horsehair gloves on and he caught him with that same punch, he knocks Inoue out. He felt that way. So he said, I'm not going to drag this fight out. I'm not going to make it another war like it was the first time. What Nonito said to himself, I'm going to go at him. I'm going to go at him. I'm going to go into a firefight and I'm going to be close to him where the danger zone. And it was basically whoever hit who first type shit. I'm trying to tell you, if Nonito catches Naoya with one of his shots, the night could have went different. Okay, it could have went different. It was a gamble. I like how Nonito explained it. He said there were 2 samurais. You ever see, like in the cartoons, 2 samurai warriors? They run full speed at each other, jump up in the air. Then all of a sudden you see the blades go cha-ching, and then they both drop to both sides, and then one guy just falls. Poof. That's what they did. That's what they did. They ran at each other, cha-ching, and Donaire fell. It was a 50-50 gamble, brother. I can respect that all day from Nonito. He took a shot. You know what I'm saying? What if he would have caught him first? And he paid for it. But my point was the winning boxing gloves. And Naoya Inoue wears the winning boxing gloves for multiple reasons. The number one reason is to protect his money makers. This is what you provide your family, the money you get. This is how you do your job with your tools. How are you going to break your tools and not take care of your tools and just mistreat them and expect them to work for you in your job? How? Ryan Garcia said it took him how many years to fix that right hand? He went out there, started throwing the right hand, fractured it again. Why? Because for years, in the amateurs, we don't have doctor money to fix our hands. So we're always led in the gym. If you have an injury, toughen the fuck up. Push through it. If your left hand is, my coach would tell me, if your left hand is damaged, well, good. We got a lot of things to work on with our right hand until your left hand gets better. But keep training. Same thing. Muscle through it. Same thing I thought Richard Hitchens was going to do when he was going to fight Oscar Duarte. It's been reported right out of Robert Garcia's mouth. I saw the interview. Shout out to Fight Hub, right? Fight Hype. And he has an interview there where he tells and talks about the day, what led up. So out of Robert Garcia's own words, I should just play it for you guys. If I don't know if I can find it. Nah, I should just play. Why should I repeat Robert Garcia's shit when I can let him talk? I'll just play the video. That way you say, I heard it right from, you know what I mean? I just think that would be better. Hold on. Let me go to the over here. What was it? Was it a video? Was it a short? What was it? Okay. It's not Fight Hype. So it's got to be the other one, Fight Hub. I know one of them put it out, but I'd rather put it up for you guys so you guys can see it. He goes on to talk about where the hell is their little logo thing at? Oh, right here. I got it. Where am I at? Am I on Fight Hype or Fight Hub? Okay, so that's Fight. I was on Fight Hype. I gotta go to Fight Hub. All these names are be like similar and shit. Okay, so Fight Hub. Fight Hub is the one that got the interview. Where is it? You guys are seeing this Conor Benn, $15 million with fucking Regis Progress? That's crazy, bro. Bro, I can't find this goddamn video right now. It can't be that far back down. Okay, Oscar Duarte starts talking here. Okay, this is where I want to see the Robert Garcia interview. Okay, it might be, I don't know, it might be on a video. Damn it, bro. I hate when I can't find the videos when I want. I should be saving these shits. But anyway, Robert Garcia went on to explain exactly what took place in the Richard Hitchens situation. And he's on one of these platforms and he's talking about it. He's outside of his gym and he says that the IBF official was there in the morning, but the guys with the scale were running late. They didn't have a scale. They were supposed to meet up the next. First of all, let me back up. Richard Hitchens made weight, the first weight for the IBF. Duarte made weight. He made weight. Richard Hitchens, he did look a lot skinny. So the next morning at 8 o'clock, they weren't supposed to exceed 10 pounds, right? So Robert Garcia tells the official, the IBF official, and Richard Hitchens' corner, he says, listen, you guys can come over to my hotel room right now. We'll get Duarte and we'll put him on the scale. You see it for your own eyes. Boom, he hit under 10 pounds. They took the scale, the same scale, and they walked over to Richard Hitchens' room. They put the scale on the IBF officials there. Robert Garcia's there. Their corner's there. Richard Hitchens made weight. He made 10. He hydrated back up 10 pounds. The exact amount of weight that Duarte rehydrated back. Okay. I think it was 2 to 3 hours after that weigh-in, after the last weigh-in, Richard Hitchens made both weights. I just want you to know this, that he did make both weights. Richard Hitchens. Okay. Here's the story. 2 or 3 hours after, Robert Garcia gets a phone call saying that Richard Hitchens is flu-like symptoms and he got food poisoning. And that he got food poisoning, that he was throwing up all night, that he was just hiding it, and that he's too weak, he cannot fight. Right? And I thought that Robert Garcia said something very, very interesting in that Robert caught it, right? And that shout out to him because that's boxing experience, coaching, right? So Robert Garcia looks at Richard Hitchens' coach and all them, he's like, he got food poisoning. He's been throwing up all night. If he's been throwing up all night, how did he gain the 10 pounds overnight? Dum. What? Say, huh? No. You're not pulling out of the fight. No. Yes, you are. Yo, Robert Garcia hit him. Hold up. If he was throwing up all night and flu-like symptoms and diarrhea and all that shit, how the fuck did he gain the 10 pounds? He shouldn't be able to gain he should have gained like 6 pounds, maybe 5. Because if you were throwing up all night, you wasn't holding any food in your stomach. Did you just gain 10 pounds of water? How did you do that if you were throwing up all night? You can't keep water down. You can't keep food down. How did you gain 10 pounds? Can you smell bullshit? I thought Robert Garcia, I looked at Robert Garcia, I was like, oh shit. I think he might have chickened out, bro. He might have chickened out. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he felt weak. So what? That happens to all of us. Robert Garcia also said something in that interview. Remember when his son was leading up into his fight? He was hospitalized. He was like in the hospital Wednesday. He fought Saturday. Like, Garcia's son pushed through it. There's a lot of fights. Mario Barrio on the same fucking car with Ryan Garcia. There's videotape of him sneezing, blowing his nose. He was sick during the fight. He still went out there and fought Ryan Garcia. What? There's guys that have had flu-like and have diarrhea. We don't talk about it because it's not something you should talk about. But you know those Depend diapers for men? There's been guys that have secretly fought with Depends diapers on. Yes, they have. It's not something you're going to come out and say. I don't think that that's something that people should know. And it's embarrassing, but it's happened. Motherfucker, go to CVS and give me a pack of Depends diapers, bro. Put them shits on and let's get in the fucking ring. Ain't nobody going to see it. You're going to have your fucking, your cup over it and your shorts. No one's going to be able to tell. People have done it. For him to pull out of the fight hours and leave that, yo, man, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Richard Hitchens has mustered through injuries to fight in the past. Duarte looked too dialed in. His energy, his aura was too strong. His energy and his aura was so strong, it has me picking him in a fight that never even took place yet. That didn't even take place. I'm like, yup, he was going to beat Richard now. Like, I'm convinced he's good because of his aura. And the fight never took place. When have I ever done that? Like, I had Richard Hitchens in this fight all day, twice on Sunday. I thought Richard Hitchens with that jab was going to bounce it off Oscar Duarte's head all night. And that Oscar Duarte wasn't going to. When I looked at Oscar Duarte, then I looked at Robert Garcia. He quickly reminded me the coach that he is and the Mexican warrior that he is. Then I looked at Oscar Duarte and I was like, that looks like a man that got it all together right now. Like all his fighting built for this one night. That's exactly what he looked like. His aura, man. His fucking aura was like big. And I think Richard Hitchens shrunk. I think he shrunk. I'm afraid so. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like Richard Hitchens, man. I like him. Africa, I think he's kind of interesting for boxing. He's a bit of a jokester. He could be a troll at times. You know, he could dug some fighters and shit, but he's an interesting fighter, though. You know, for boxing, yeah, I like Africa for boxing. But boy, you down bad right now. You just got bitched by Mexico. Yeah, you did. Fuck. Yeah, you did. And although Mexico can't get credit for the win, they will get credit for bitching them. Yeah. So Mexico, I'll give you a half of one. Not a whole one, a half of. So you guys can rise up just a little bit like that. Don't stand up too much. You know what I mean? Taking shots, baby. Yo, listen. He punked them, bro. Man, listen. I've been in a lot of situations in my life. I may have had a fight or two in my days, one or two, right? And I've been in the hood. I've seen dudes get bitched. And boy, I gotta call it like I see it. That looks ugly, Richard. Robert, when he hit that dude with that one-liner, I didn't know what to say. He said, if your boy got fucking food poisoning, how did he gain 10 pounds from last night to this morning? If you're telling me he's been throwing up all day. I was like, oh shit. You fucking with Robert Garcia. That's a goddamn coach right there, motherfucker. You ain't gonna get one. You ain't gonna get one over on him. You think you just gonna tell Robert Garcia whatever you fucking want? What the hell? Oh, hell no. Hell no. You dealing with Mexico. Shit, man. Robert hit him with the hit. Oh, man. Damn, Richard, man. You down bad right now. There's not too much I can say for him. He hasn't given a real explanation. Like, there's no medical report. There's nothing official doctoring. Like, nah. Yeah, brother, he got punked, bro. I'm sorry. Mexico, y'all got that. Y'all got that on US. You got that. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna be biased. I'm not gonna favor. Rich is my guy. He's a US guy. I'm an American. Those are my guys. I want to think of something to fucking back him up, but yeah, Mexico, y'all got that. Sometimes you just gotta know when to hold up, when to fold up, when to walk away, and keep your belt and live another day. Damn, he got bitched. All right, well, I mean, Just what they should do is just order it, and then all boxing world, all everything boxing here. Floyd Mayweather, the rumors of him coming back, that's sad. That's a sad story right there, right now. If it's true, he's financially broke. I'm on the line. Like, I wanted to think that the man just has a passion for the sport, like guys that just can't walk away. They love the spotlight, and that he just wants to come back for the love of the game. I wish it was more like that rather than being forced to come back because you're broke and you need money. In those situations in boxing history, that's when everything goes wrong. That's when the legends get beat. That's when Roy Jones gets knocked out. That's when Ali gets beat. All the greats, Joe Louis, all of them. Sugar Ray Johnson, man. It's they don't know how to stop. And that's why I talk about this shit, about the GOAT status. That in boxing, you cannot be awarded GOAT status in boxing while you're active. You can't. You can't. You have to retire in order to be called a GOAT in boxing. See, our GOATs are not watered down like the NBA GOATs, like the NFL GOATs. There's like 15 fucking GOATs in the NFL, in the NBA. There's like 4 GOATs playing, according to the NBA fans. There's 4 current GOATs playing basketball right now. That's how freely they give the title GOATs to like everybody. Curry's a GOAT. LeBron's a GOAT. Bro, it's outrageous. And they're like playing in the same time. But in boxing, the reason why we don't consider you the GOAT is because you have to retire. We understand in boxing, fighters don't retire well. They're great in their prime, in the beginning, and in their glory days. But at the end, when you're getting knocked out, you got 10 losses, Roy Jones. You've been knocked out 5 times or whatever it was. Mike Tyson's been knocked out 3 times. That's when the fighter ruins their legacy. They have to learn how to protect what they built. And all those losses count. It's like that guy talking to the guy about a movie. You ever run into this person in life? They go, that guy, he was a great criminal in this movie. Yeah, but he got killed at the end of the movie. Yeah, I didn't forget about the ending. But when he was in his glory of the bank robberies, he did all that. He did get killed in the end of the movie. Right? It's like these guys, these boxing fans, they want to talk about the glory days of their favorite fighter, but they don't want to talk about the end of the movie. That shit counts. Manny Pacquiao ruined his career because of all those losses and fighting all those times after. Fighting too long. He had a better legacy if he would have stopped early enough. Then it would have been tough to argue he's not the GOAT. Roy Jones fucked up his career. Mike Tyson, and the list goes on. Ali was unique in a way that Ali was actually bigger than boxing. That's a different conversation. But you got to value your legacy. Floyd, you're on my wall not because I like everything about you. Right? It's not Floyd's antics, his jewelry, the women, the cars. That's not why he's on my wall. He's on my wall because he represents the legends in the game. The men and women that held the torch. Fighters like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? And Ali and Naoya Inoue. But he's on my wall because whether you love or hate him, he's the closest things of excellence in my era of boxing I've ever witnessed. No blemishes, no losses. Every fighter has those controversial losses or those close ones that you narrowly slip out of there with the win, but you might have lost that fight on that night. Yeah, yeah. And you're lucky that the judges swayed on your side. Or maybe you had the bigger envelope. I don't know. But I do know it says undefeated. 50-0. That's what it says. Here he comes playing around with boxing, about to jump back into the game and take a chance of losing it all again. Didn't he just celebrate his 49th year old birthday? They had him on social media. He's 49 years old. Why is a 49-year-old man hopping back into the ring? And it might not be for the love of the game. It might be for financial. And when you come back to a sport such as boxing for the wrong reasons, typically it doesn't end well. You know, maybe Floyd is that great. I don't know. Who's going to be his opponent? I don't know. Well, Hector Camacho, he should be on that wall. Brother, why don't you send me some money for a Hector Camacho poster like I keep telling people, and we'll put one on this wall. But I'm not fucking buying no bullshit Hector Camacho poster, bro. I can go tomorrow and rip a page out of a boxing book and have a picture of Hector Camacho on my wall tomorrow, but I don't want that cheap shit. And I have high standards and high taste. That poster behind me of Mayweather, that's $125. That's not a poster. It's fabric. That shit will never rip. Most of these things are good, authentic, good replicas of quality of the stuff. I just like quality. That picture of Naoya Inoue, that's metal. That's a tin plate. That's not a picture that's a painting, bro. That's a metal. If I hit it, you're going to hear the sound. This is thousands of dollars. You think I'm going to go take a picture of Hector Camacho, rip it out, put it in a fucking, and put that to represent, that's how I represent my people? When everybody else's shit is high quality? Fuck out of here. Hector Camacho deserves the best. And when I save up that money to buy some real authentic shit from my guys, they're going to be right there, front and center. But I got to save up that bread, bro. Because some of this shit costs fucking $200, $300, $400. Sometimes I'm trying to like go to eBay, and you got to not buy fake shit. A lot of people want to sign authentic and say, this is his autograph. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, so you got to be careful, you know, ordering online or anything like that. So when I have my time and I got my money right, I go into the inner city. I got to convince my wife to go with me because she's got to drive around because there's never no parking. So I need her. She got to keep the car moving while I go in the shops and try to hustle and wheel with the dude for fucking memorabilia of boxers. You know what I'm saying? But there's not a lot of people buying memorabilia for boxing a lot. So I get good deals. So when I'm there person, I can get a good deal. But I haven't ever found anything, and I mean anything, for Hector Camacho out my way. Around my way? No. The only way I could do that is online. You got to be careful with buying some stuff. I just want to buy some classy shit. I want some good shit. You know, if I can get fucking Wilfredo Benitez, you know, like imagine getting Wilfredo Benitez unboxing shorts and putting them in a glass, like the shorts he won on that night or something. Oh my God, bro. Like some cool shit, some real cool shit, bro. You know, I would like some cool shit from Hector, you know, but Yeah, man, I can rip out pictures of a magazine. You see these guys on YouTube? They got like a square picture behind them. That shit look fucked up. That shit look bootleg, bro. Fuck that, bro. I want some quality shit, and I'm not gonna settle for less. I'm not. I told my fans, the day y'all see some fucking Camacho shit up here, watch. It's gonna be some real shit. I'm gonna save up. I'm not gonna cheap out and just because I want to hurry up and put something from Puerto Rico up here. I got my Puerto Rican gloves and I got my flag and shit, but like something like, you know, from one of our guys, man. Yeah, but I'm gonna save up that money, bro. I'm gonna get me some fly shit, bro. Watch. You watch. You're gonna see. I'm not gonna sell out and just, oh fuck it, let me just put up a picture or anything. Fuck that. Oh, Time versus Chavez. Yo, Chavez was a fucking beast, bro. That's got to be one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. You know, I give it to Salvador Sanchez because the little bit that we had the privilege to be around Salvador Sanchez, the guy was fucking amazing, right? Now, would he had surpassed Julio Cesar Chavez? I don't know. Julio Cesar Chavez is the definition of a fighter. If you were to look in the dictionary and you were to say, Mommy, what is a fighter? There should be a picture of Julio Cesar Chavez's picture under the definition of what is a fighter. It should just be a picture of him, right? I don't know any human in the world that I've ever been around, heard of, other fighters talk about. I've never in my life heard anybody fighting as many people as that man did, Julio Cesar Chavez. Yeah. If you think his boxing record was crazy, he had upwards of 100 professional fights, right? Past 100, right? So that's just professional fights. Then when you go to look him up and you find out what he's about, he didn't punch the heavy bag. He didn't hit the speed bag. He doesn't jump rope. He doesn't jog. He jogs a little bit. He jogged a little bit, but he doesn't jump rope. He doesn't do anything else but spar. Julio Cesar Chavez spars 5 days a week. Basically his entire pro career, Julio Cesar Chavez said in an interview, what the fuck am I going to hit a punching bag for? For what? The punching bag doesn't hit back. It doesn't replicate boxing. Why am I hitting a speed bag for? He said, I did that in the amateurs to get in shape. I hit a punching bag to get in shape, to be able to get in the ring. Once I got in the ring, the only way you can get better at fighting is you got to fight. Fighters like Bruce Lee, he said it in his autobiography. He would practice moves in his room, go and put on his Chinese suit so that he can walk outside, so that somebody can laugh at him, so that he can pick a fight, so that he can practice the move he was working on in a real fight. Julio Cesar Chavez, the only thing he believed in was fighting. When he worked out, he fought. When he was training, he fought. When he was preparing for a fight, he fought. Then what he did, he went and fought. I don't know of a man that fought that much. I've never heard of guys in the gym. When I talk about and I'll get to somebody, I'll talk, hey, how's this guy training? What's he like? And to this day, I've never heard. He's like mythical. Julio Cesar Chavez, he's like a unicorn. Okay, Floyd is the hardest worker I've ever heard about. he was relentless. He trained like you were gonna take everything away from him on that day if he lost. The Floyd led by reputation. His reputation to him was so high that the fear of losing wouldn't let him sleep. He'd get up at 3 a.m, start training, start jogging. So Floyd was the best when it came to preparing for a fight. Julio Cesar Chavez was the fucking best fighter. There's no way to describe that. When you look up the word in the dictionary, fighter, it should be a picture of his face. That man fought a lot. Like a lot. I can imagine the staggering number of men that he fought in his life. He's well past 500, 600, 800 men. You mean to tell me you fought in the upwards of 500 men in your life? You fought 500 men in your life. That's why there should be a picture of you in the dictionary next to the word fighter. Because of shit like that. You hand-to-hand combat. Not no sticks, not no knives. You fought way over, and I'm just throwing an eyeball number that if his boxing career, pro career is in the hundreds by itself, how many people did you spar? Throughout, how long was your career? 500 is probably mile. In real life, he probably fought well over 1,000 men. In reality, you fought over. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, bro. That's crazy shit. That's crazy talk. Those guys, they're special. Man, listen. The human body's not designed. He should be a vegetable. And look at him. That guy talks pretty good for a man that's been in that many fights. Mildred Taylor, man. He should have beat Chavez, bro. Mildred Taylor had a volume of punching. That's what you needed to beat Chavez. That speed, that punching. He left it all in the ring that night. For him to have 4 seconds on the clock and get knocked out, that was crazy. It's fucking crazy. That was ridiculous. If he stood up and the referee doesn't stop that fight with 4 seconds left, he got knocked down like at 9 seconds, 6 seconds. Then he got up. The referee looked at him and waved it. If the referee just allows him to just stay forward and go like this, and those 4 seconds go by, he wins the fight. He beat Chavez that night. Hands down, he beat Chavez. You want to know one of the craziest things? He's talking about old fights made me start thinking about moments, right? I heard Ness on the Boxing Voice say that Ryan Garcia didn't even look good because of the fact that he spun around in the ring like Deontay Wilder did. And that because of the fact that Ryan Garcia spun around, that means that he's not defensively sound. That there's holes in Ryan Garcia's fighting style. I start talking about all these legends, and it just made me think about one fighter in particular that was probably one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time, Pernell Whitaker. And if I'm not mistaken, Pernell Whitaker himself spun around in a circle in a boxing match to exit. He did a Deontay Wilder. Pernell Whitaker. He did a Ryan Garcia. The exact thing that Ryan Garcia is getting criticized for, it's ironic that the greatest defensive fighter in the world did it too. But when Pernell Whitaker does it, I guess, it's fucking masterclass, that is perfection. When Ryan Garcia does it, he's Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder got knocked out by spinning around. Ryan did it to reposition himself to stand back in front of Mario Barrio, which was actually a good move. He didn't get hit. He evaded and got right in front of Mario Barrio with the spin. So he technically utilized the spin in the correct way. The bad way to use the spin, Deontay Wilder. But when Pernell Whitaker uses it, the spin, it's fucking masterclass. That is art, poetry in motion. When Pernell Whitaker does it. When Ryan Garcia does it, he needs help. He needs milk. Ryan Garcia is sloppy. Look at his box. He did a whole 360. They're laughing at him. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to pull up the Sweepy Pernell Whitaker video where he actually spins so that no one can say, Sweepy never did that. Edwin, round one, you crazy. No, I'm very familiar with Sweepy, but I'm up there in age, Poppy. I might look young and look, you know what I'm saying, fresh to death all the time, but I'm up there. I've actually watched Sweepy fight. I actually saw the fight where he spun around. Yeah, so there's no way you can't tell me what my own two eyes saw. And I actually remembered it while I'm talking about the legends. And I was just thinking about a lot of them because we were going down that road of the Julio Cesar Chavez's. We were talking about that. And like one of the best fighters that beat Sweepy was Felix Trinidad. I think Felix Trinidad, all the other losses, Sweepy got robbed. He got robbed. Pernell Whitaker got robbed in those fights. And that fucking draw with Julio Cesar Chavez, that was bullshit. Because Sweepy beat Chavez. If you ask me, Sweepy beat Chavez, bro. He did. And it became a draw. It was bullshit. Chavez lost that fight. But yeah, it made me think of Sweepy. And I was like, but wait a minute. That motherfucker spun around in the side. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. He just compared Sweepy Pernell Whitaker to Ryan Garcia cheating Ryan. Yes, I did. And the one thing that they did spun around in a circle. If you heard me say anything then spinning in a circle, because if you're talking about spinning around in a circle, that's where I compared them. Because that's where it stops. Just right there. When Sweepy spins around in a circle, it's perfection. When Ryan spins in a circle, it's Deontay Wilder. That's what I said. Ryan Garcia has nothing on Sweepy's level. He'll never be around Sweepy's level. Ever. And nothing. But the only thing they have in common, that they both spun around in a fight. And that's all I brought up. So if you heard something else, then you must have selected hearing. You know what I'm saying? You must have selected hearing because I only judged them when they spun around in the fight. Don't fucking say that. Round one said, I compared Ryan Garcia to fucking legendary, iconic fucking fighter like Sweepy Pernell Whitaker. Are you out of your mind? I might as well just tear all this shit down, throw this mic away, because don't listen to that guy ever again. If somebody try to do that shit, but apparently you have selected hearing. Because I only compared him into an awkward moment of spinning in the ring. So that's it. I don't know where you get that from. He compared right. Nobody did that shit. Nobody did that. Ryan's offense is way better than who? Not Sweepy's. Then you must not know Sweepy. Don't do that. Ryan turns his back. Okay, fighting words. And then he's like, yup. And I heard you. And he says, you are. I am. How am I comparing them? What am I comparing the 360 circle that they did? Because Sweepy did a 360 circle in the ring. Ryan Garcia did a 360 circle in the ring. Deontay Wilder did one. But you don't say that I'm comparing them to Deontay Wilder. What you'll do is you'll hear the legend that I said. I also mentioned Deontay Wilder, but you haven't said not one word about Deontay Wilder. Why? You have selected hearing. You hear what you want. Your brain processes what you want to argue about. That's all you're doing. Because I've only told you the truth. There's no comparison with Ryan and Sweeping and nothing. They're just two different fighters all around. I couldn't compare them in anything. No, and nothing. Just that one brief moment where they spun around in the ring and they try to shit on Ryan Garcia because they said Ryan, he looked defensively flawed, spinning. And I said, well, to tell you the truth, he kind of used the spin tactic at the right time. And whether he knew it or not, or he was doing it intentionally, if you go back and watch at the moment where Ryan spun around on Mario Barrio, it actually put him right in front of Mario Barrio. You understand? It actually put him in a better position. So the move itself actually worked out for Ryan. It wasn't like he did a spin and got punched in the face like Deontay Wilder and got knocked out and got made look real bad. That's utilizing it in the wrong way. But there has been many fighters, not even just Sweepy, but I brought up the great Sweepy Pernell Whitaker because he's a real popular fighter and I figured everybody would know who he was. So I use him as an example to break down fighters that spun in the ring. And I actually think when Ryan actually utilized that he spun from Mario Barrio, he literally, when he stopped spinning, he was right in front of him, lined up, ready. Mario couldn't do anything. So it kind of worked out for Ryan. I don't see where the harsh criticism is where, look, he spun around in the ring. So what? Did it cost him the fight? Was it a stupid move in a bad situation? What does spinning in a fight mean with the outcome of the fight? How did the spin in the fight affect you? And that's what I'm talking about. You can't just point out awkward moments and go, look, he had a misstep or a miscue. Oh, he sucks. That's what you would be doing by criticizing Ryan's spin move. Oh, look, he spinned it. Okay, but what was the outcome and the cause of effect from the spin move? Deontay Wilder got knocked out from doing the spin move. What happened to Ryan? That's what I'm talking about. And sometimes people have selected hearing and they're going to take something I say and just make, argue with themselves. I get it, but no, I don't get it. You should pay attention, I guess, because you would be foolish to argue up something that Ryan Garcia is on the level of Pernell with. Jesus Christ, that would be bad. That would be really bad. No, they're not on the same level. It's just a situation. Jesus. Pernell was a defensive master. He won a round of boxing without throwing a punch. Yes, he did. I think that Pernell Whitaker should have went down in the history books, if you're asking me, as a way better fighter. He should have been given more credit, to tell you the truth, if I'm being honest. because of that draw and the wins he didn't get when he got robbed in that title fight, and Julio Cesar Chavez fight got robbed in that too. Um, had he had won those fights, he'd be in the argument for GOAT status. He deserves GOAT status argument. Pinell. Uh he was different. He was different. Preparing to fight for a man like that must be difficult. His movement will frustrate you. Roger Mayweather, he was doing the Philly shell back then. He dusted Roger off like nothing, bro. Like, Sweepy was different, man. He was really different. He understood things about movement. What Floyd thought and knows about offense and Naoya in a way, the timing, the where about offense, he was like that with defense. He was a real genius when it came to the movement of the human body and getting you to throw the punches the way he wants. I don't know too many fighters I've ever watched that can counter in the fire the way Sweepy did. He was the type of fighter that stood in front of you and he effortlessly just slid out of your punches and punched you in the face. And you know how when some fighters will slip a shot and counter and then either back away or hug, or Sweepy stood right there. It was like he was poking the bear or poking the bear while standing in front of the bear, beating the bear up and poking him again and going, aha, go ahead, slip, slip, pop, pop. Go ahead, slip, slip, pop, pop. Where you going? Slip, slip, pop, pop. He would stay in front of you. He was really good, really, like when it came to that. Shakur does an okay job at that. I mean, because I'm comparing him to Sweepy, that's why. Now Shakur is just okay now. If I was comparing Shakur to anybody else, he would be a lot greater. But to a fighter like Sweepy, he was truly gifted in those areas. Yeah, and he packed a punch. Sweepy can punch. If he caught you, what beat Sweepy was moving up in weight. He was another example of a fighter you weren't going to beat in his own weight division. You're not going to beat Sweepy in his natural weight. No one was. Nobody was going to beat him. He had to move up to make it interesting. He was one of those kind of fighters. Yes, Jose, look, there's been a couple fighters that whooped Sweepy, unfortunately. Felix Trinidad, I think, beat him the best. Felix Trinidad had him hurt all over. But that's what I mean. Sweepy didn't belong up there with those guys. What was fucking Sweepy doing fighting Trinidad, bro? Why was he fighting Jose? He should have never fought those guys. Never. They were just too big. And he pushed it, and then drugs, sex, and alcohol. We've heard the stories about Sweepy, just like Hector Camacho. His wife was honest. Hector Camacho's wife said, this motherfucker trained 2 weeks before the fight. Literally start like real training. He'd be fucking around all leading into the fight. She said it. She said if Hector Camacho was disciplined like he was when he was younger, when he was in New York, before he started catching fame, go watch Hector Camacho's early fights. That's why he's Macho Man. Hector Camacho, bro, there wasn't a lot of people that was going to whoop that Puerto Rican dude's ass. Nah, bro. He was on a different level for us Puerto Rican fighters. Hector, he was probably one of the fastest combination Puerto Rican fighters we've ever had. Miguel Cotto was one of the more durable, strongest. Felix Trinidad had that hook shot and that will. Benitez, Wilfredo Gomez, they Wilfredo Benavides, Benitez, um, they were different fighters. They were different. Edwin Rosario, they were different. Hector Camacho, we only saw a glimpse of the real Hector Camacho when he was early in his career. After that, it's the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, bro. A lot of distractions took Hector Camacho. You know, it happens, man. It fucking happens. But I enjoy watching him in his like glory, Hector, and seeing how skillful he really was. I mean, he does have 7 weight divisions. He has belts in 7 weight divisions, Hector Camacho. So he fought in 7 weight divisions. The only thing, he only has 3 major world division titles. And the other 4 weight division, he has minor belts in those wins. But he did fight in 7 weight divisions, Hector Camacho. You just don't get credit for the minors. Yeah, unless you're Manny Pacquiao. Anyway, taking shots. and that's a lie too, because I just made that up. Because Manny Pacquiao never got credit for a mini one. I'm just fucking with you, right? But since he's got the big 8 allegedly, I let him have it. Whatever it is. I be argumentative like a motherfucker when it comes to my guy Hector Camacho and shit, because they don't want to give him credit for the 7. But nah, they shouldn't. He got 3 weight division. That's cool. Miguel Cotto, he got the 4, uh, and that's awesome. That's awesome, and I'll take it. But yeah, man, it happens to all our fighters sometimes. But that's why I like to watch fighters like Naoya, the Monster Inoue. I can't wait for this fight out there in Japan. It's going down in the Tokyo Arena, Japan. Brother, man, I wish I had a passport, because I'll be on a plane out there. You know what I'm saying? Japanning it up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out there all kind of bowing like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Tokyo Arena, where it at? You know what I'm saying? Show me. You know, um, I would love to be in attendance for that fight. I would love to be in attendance, but unfortunately, I can't. Uh, I'm not sure they'll give me a passport. Nah, I don't. They won't let me in Japan. They won't let me in that country. They'll pull my record and be like, "What the fuck, yo? Hell no! Get that man out of here, yo! I got too many parking tickets. Oh, I got like 130 parking tickets. I'm an habitual traffic offender. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Nah. Anyway, listen, fight fans. They'll be like, "You'll never stop for a red light out here." Anyway, fight fans, I love you guys. I'm gonna tune in tonight at 7:30. We'll go on. We'll have another little episode, and we're gonna get everything going back into its regularly scheduled program. This is what I need. This is what I need in my life. It gives me therapy, allows me to talk, makes me smile, everything. This is what I need because I feel good right now. And just taking my mind off things. So, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Lock in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe button, like button, subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, I'm on to the next one. After this one here at Round One Sports Talk, you guys are being best. Bull Rider, who made switches Camacho switches style? Who made Camacho switches style? Drugs? Alcohol? Women? I don't know a boxer that made him switch his style. Made him switch his style because, for example, I'll take it easy, my man. Yup, Hector Camacho was no joke in his prime. He wasn't low key face. Camacho was the face of boxing when Tyson got knocked out. Yeah, Bull Rider. Okay, good example that you bring up Mike Tyson because I'll use that to end this. What I meant by switch up his style, meaning Iron Mike Tyson, which he's up there on my wall up there. Mike, right? Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Cuss, when Cuss trained him, he trained him so good and so well that when Mike went off on his cocaine binges and Mike went through his phase of going down, he was trained so well that the remnants of his training carried him through his career. Whoever trained Hector Camacho that well when he was a young kid, or just his understanding of fighting, that he understood enough and was trained and was disciplined for a point in period in his time so well that carried Camacho through his career. He stopped getting better. They were just that good. The Tysons, the Camachos, fighters like that, where Cuss trained him so well that 50% of Mike Tyson can be a world champion. Same thing for Hector Camacho. I love you guys, fight fans. Take care.